Hello everyone, this is L5 and welcome to the Government Central Toy Review. And today's toy, we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the Marvel Universe action figure review. And today's action figure review, we're looking at the San Diego Comic-Con 2011 exclusive of the Sentinel. Now I got this straight from a local toy shop near my work area for 270 ringgit, which is rather pricey but understandable due to the sheer size of this figure itself. Now furthermore, this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, not the retail version of a Sentinel where it's painted in blue and silver. This is the exclusive version from Comic-Con where, well, the colors are originally the same colors that were first appeared in the X-Men comic, well, for the Sentinel of course. Now I have to apologize for the camera view being tilted upwards and being shot all the way at the back here, because the sheer size of the box is so humongous that it can't capture everything in the camera itself. Furthermore, I would like to show everyone this awesome box cover of, well, the Sentinel going up against the X-Men. As you can see there, the details of the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. You have Cyclops on one side here shooting the eye beam. You have Colossus on one side here as well. You have Wolverine clawing the hand of the Sentinel. On the top there we have Storm there conjuring her lightning attacks. Nightcrawler just teleported right in front of, well, of Sentinel's face, and Thunderbird being grabbed by the Sentinel. Very awesome artwork box and rather huge. However, the box itself, well, it's nothing that special. The artwork is the same from the back as well, so I don't need to show everyone what it looks like at the back. And on the side is just wording of the font stating the Sentinel, and that's about it. So let's open up this box first and show you guys what it looks like for the Sentinel in the carded form. Be right back. And we're back after removing the carded Sentinel out from the box itself. Now you will notice the sheer size of the carded Sentinel for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version. And you will notice I placed the figure and the card standing up straight. If I put it sideways, then you all have a problem watching this video, tilting your neck, well, on one side. First things first, inside this humongous plastic bubble is the 19-inch Sentinel figure. Now on this section here, just at the location of his chest there's a cut out little hole, so you can press the button to hear the sound effect of the Sentinel. Now on the top corner there's a nice little artwork of two Sentinel there, so I'm going to move the camera upwards first. Very nice artwork. Now I'm going to turn this entire humongous card from the back here. It's rather heavy actually, surprisingly enough. Now we have a really large image of the Sentinel, so I'm going to move the camera again. Very nice. Now I'm going to pull this up close a little bit. There's a large write-up on this one corner here. Now it's stated, even by modern standards, the first of the Sentinel robots to roll off the production lines were engineering marvels, masterpieces of deadly technology, with computational power superior to even the most advanced supercomputer and weaponry, the equal of any of the planet. They could have done immeasurable good. Instead, the creation of the Sentinel robots were the opening of a Pandora's box that has wreaked untold destruction across the world. Though the X-Men and others wiped out the first generation of killer machines, the technology was out there and evil, hateful men would stop at nothing to use it. Generation after generation of mutant hunting robots followed, each one boasting improved energy weapons and ever more sophisticated mutant detecting software. Each generation learned from the defeat of the last, rendering every battle against the Sentinel more dangerous than the last. Very nice. Now I'm going to tilt the camera down a little bit, and you get to see Commander Steve Rogers there, stating that you got it first at Comic-Con. Very nice. So I'm going to tilt the camera back up again. Twist this entire heavy card all the way to the back, like so. So without further ado, let's open up this humongous card and molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after removing the Sentinel out from the carded package itself. First things first, inside the box it does come with a smaller instruction manual on teaching you how to remove and replace the 3 AAA batteries out from the Sentinel body. As you can see there, it's very easy. All you have to do is just unscrew the screw there, open the panel and replace the batteries. Of course, the figure is already came with 3 AAA batteries. On the other side of the instruction manual is a warning label on what to do and what not to do with the batteries. And that's about it. It's rather disappointing. This Sentinel doesn't even come with a profile card, unlike the Galactus figure that came with a large profile card. This one doesn't even come with anything at all. No accessories and no profile card. So it's rather disappointing for a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. You imagine that a lot of people pay for this, and this is what you get. You get the figure, unless you don't want to remove the figure out from the card itself. The card is impressive, of course. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now majority of parts are not painted at all. They are just pure plastic material color. Now the only parts that's actually painted on the black parts of the body, the armor here, each side of the armor and on the top section here is painted in black. So that's this section here. Each side of the ribs are also painted in black. This is not a paint job, this is a sticker. The back portion of the armor as well. This is all painted in black. So that's the side here. Also the back portion of the ribs is also painted in black. Now for the hands here, the wrist there, you can see all the silver mechanical wirings or pistons that are actually painted in silver paint job. The background is painted in black. The fingers, all 10 of the fingers are actually painted in black, so that's the side here as well. Now the bottom section of the Sentinel's foot here, as you can see, same thing with the hands. All the mechanical parts are painted in silver with black background. Bottom of the feet, there is nothing. Now I'm going to tilt the camera upwards to show everyone the face paint job. As you can see, the entire head here is made of a dark purple plastic material color. However, the face is painted in gold, or at least bronze in color. The pupils is also painted as well, and so does the mechanical parts inside the mouth. And on the side here we have metallic purple paint job. And that's about it with the paint job. Majority of parts here are just pure plastic material color. This is made of a dark blue plastic material color, so does the shoulder pad as well. The head is made of a dark purple plastic material color. The arms is made of a dark purple plastic material color, except for this part, which is painted in dark blue. The torso and the lower hips there are made of a dark blue plastic material color. So does the hands here as well, and also this section of the hands as well. The thighs are actually made of a purple plastic material color, as you can see now. Kneecaps is made of a dark blue plastic material color. However, the joints inside is made of a dark purple plastic material color. And along all the way down is just dark blue plastic material color. And that's about it. Nothing really that impressive actually. I'm going to push all the way back here and move the camera back a little bit more. So the paint job is not as detailed compared to the Galactus figure, the 19-inch San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of the Galactus figure, because I really was impressed by the face paint job. There was a lot of details there, but this is alright. I'm hoping for more purple, but the body consists a lot more of that blue rather than purple itself. So it's give and take that. It still looks very nice, but not really that impressive actually. Now let's take a look at the figure's mold, shall we? Now half of the figure's mold is reused, so there's no surprise there. The shoulders, the upper bicep, the lower elbow joint here, the hands, the hip ball joint here, the thigh, the kneecap, just below the kneecap for this joint, the torso and the waist are all made, reused parts from Galactus. No changes at all, as you can see there. They're all similar, even to the torso itself, and even at the lower section here as well. So it's a little bit disappointing when you find out that half the parts there are actually reused parts. But then again, for Marvel itself, for Hasbro, what else they're gonna do? They have to reuse some of the parts. To recreate a new part would be more expensive. Now speaking of new parts, there are actually new parts. The hands here, the wrist joint here is actually new. The lower legs here, the giant boots are actually new molds. And let's not forget the head. The head is actually quite nicely done. There's a new head mold there. For the shoulder pad, the body armor and the crotch armor, they are all separate pieces made of a soft plastic material, plastic material. As you can see, they are quite bendy. So the new parts is actually not bad looking, but what really disappoints me is that the Sentinel doesn't come with any tendrils at all. As you can see, this is the section where the Sentinel will shoot out the tendril and grab the mutants, right? It doesn't come with any of that, so no accessories at all, so it was rather disappointing. Furthermore, they have to reuse the hand molds, so it's not really that fun when you can't have the Sentinel hold any of the X-Men mutant by his hands. You can't at all because it's fixed. And then what's worse is that the inside of the palm of the hands itself is not molded with the weapon palm itself, the energy that shot up from the palm, from the Sentinel palm itself, if you watch the animation or if you read any of the comics. So it doesn't have that, so it's a little bit disappointing as well for that part. Now let's take a look at the figure's size itself. Let's do a size comparison with a normal Marvel Universe figure. This is the Constrictor figure. I'm going to put him down like so. Move the camera down and you can see the sheer size of it if you compare it. But is he any taller than Galactus? Not really. For a 19-inch figure, Galactus is still taller than him. As you can see that. Of course, Galactus' head is way more bigger, way more taller. But if you don't count the huge head, they're about exactly the same height. But with the huge head, of course, the Galactus figure is still the tallest figure there. Move the camera down a little bit. Now let's take a look at the figure's features. Now it does come with 14 sound effects. You have to press the button here, and then the two eyes will light up in red. Now as shown with the instruction manual, this is the part where you detach this piece here. You just pull it out, and there's a smaller panel where you have to use a screwdriver to open the panel to replace the 3 AAA batteries. This is the section. You can see there's a lot of holes there. If I bring it up closer a little bit, there's a lot of holes there. That's the speaker where all the sound effect will come out. Now it sprouts out 14 sound effects if you press the button.
Sentinel power core breached. Purge power core. Beta level mutant detected. System meltdown. Power core failure in 5, 4, 3, 2. Ejecting power core. X-Men must be detained. Mutant life form detected. Halt. Fugitive mutant detected. Destroy. Stop. Sentinel under attack. Halt. Fugitive mutant.
And that's about all the sound effects that you're gonna get for the Sentinel figure, which is not bad, but not as impressive compared to Galactus, of course. Well, then again, the Sentinel does sprout out robotic sound, so, well, this is a Sentinel. What do you expect? Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Now, unlike the Galactus figure, the Sentinel figure is way more articulated because it doesn't have a lot of hindrance, and he's not wearing a giant skirt. First things first, I'm gonna move it on one side like so. Now we have the neck joint here that turns 360 degrees. It's on the ball joint. You can pivot our head upwards, straight, side to side. Shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees. If you move it a little bit and like so, and you can spread the arms this high. Upper bicep here, it has a swivel joint, so it turns 360 degrees. I'm going to move it like so. Double jointed elbow joint, so it bends this far. Wrist joint here can turn 360 degrees. And then we have another wrist joint here. It's on the ball joint, so you can turn 360 degrees, go inward and outward, side to side. Now we have a waist joint here, a swivel waist joint, no torso joint thanks to the electronic parts, but you can actually turn it 360 degrees like so. And then we have the ball joint, hip joint here, where the pegs are aligned this way, so you have to twist the ball joint like so in order to move the legs forward. And then you can actually move the legs to the sides. We have swivel tie joint that turns 360 degrees like so. And this guy is heavy. I'm really running out of breath. Double jointed knee that is super tight but bends this far. It's really tight. I was afraid of breaking it. And we have a swivel joint here at the shin that turns 360 degrees. And then we have the ankle joint. It's on the ball joint there, so you can actually pivot downwards, upwards a little bit, and side to side, and turn like so. But it cannot turn 360 degrees because due to the move of the legs itself. So overall, what do I think about the Sentinel figure? I think it's a little bit disappointing. I can understand the frustration for a lot of Marvel collectors out there, saying that this Sentinel figure is still not as good compared to the Toy Biz version, the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Build Your Own Figure Sentinel figure, because that figure is way more detailed, plus the fact that it actually has a tendril weapon. However, that figure is way more shorter. That figure don't actually have the sound effects. So for this figure, the size itself is really big. It's 19-inch tall has robotic, well, a lot of sound effects, 14 sound effects, and it's more durable actually, because if you compare to the joints itself to the Toy Biz version, sometimes the paint itself would froze the joints, and it can cause the joints to break if you're not careful, if you play around with them. But of course, for this figure, it's not as detailed as that, so we cannot actually place the Marvel Universe version and then do a side-to-side comparison with the Toy Biz version, because it's really unfair to do that. Toy Biz is a different company that was actually churned out a much more better looking Sentinel, and this is a Hasbro version which churned out a really large Sentinel with sound effects. So both are actually in a different category there. One for detail, the other one for, I would say, sheer size of it. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of this, yes, it's a little bit disappointing because it doesn't have the tendrils and doesn't have the profile card for the Sentinel, unlike the Galactus figure that actually has the profile card. And the paint job is not that impressive. Half the parts were reused before. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, I'll say I'll still give it a 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10 for the Sentinel figure. Still awesome looking, but not to the same par compared to a Galactus figure. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.